gosh, this is getting deep, guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel. If you're new here, I've been in anorexia recovery for about 10 months now. And for today's video, I thought we could do a sit down 10-month recovery kind of update kind of thing. I think I've done quite a lot of vlogs recently, so I just thought, why don't we do a sit down video, kind of explain how I'm feeling about anorexia recovery, what's been going on, tips for recovery as a girl who's 10 months in, that sort of thing. So whether you're in anorexia recovery or you just want to kind of know what's going on in someone's mind who has anorexia, then keep watching. If you do enjoy, make sure to give it a massive thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to say to preface this video is I am not recovered, I am not weight restored, I am nowhere near there yet. I am 10 months in, which is still quite early in. I mean, it's a long time, but in the long term, it's not really that far in yet. The stage I am now, I still do really struggle with food, and I just want to say that I'm not like recovered yet. So this is very much from a girl who is in anorexia recovery and is not recovered. So yeah, let's talk about it. Me and me a year ago are honestly two different people. Like, I cannot tell you how different I am. Like, it is incomparable, and I say that just like to give people hope that things do change. Like, I've been there, I've been really desperately suicidal, I've been at the lowest point that I just feel like no one else could even understand. Like, it was awful. And now I can sit here and I can say that, you know, I'm okay, I'm doing okay, and honestly, I feel so much better than how I did a year ago when I started my anorexia recovery, and I'm in such a better place. And for anyone watching this and is going through hell right now, listen, it gets better. Like, trust me, hold on, please, because it gets better. Or even if it's not an eating disorder and it's like some sort of mental illness, like, just listen to me. Like, I've been there, trust me, I've been there, and it does get better. So I am living proof. And no, my life's not great. No, I'm not amazing. You know, yes, I still have depression, everything like that. I still have anorexia, I still struggle with food, but it gets better. Just please, like, I just want people to know that, like, and no, it sounds cliche, but it does get better. So I guess let's talk about what's made it got better. I don't want to say this because honestly, if I said this to myself a year ago, I would have slapped myself around the face, because I hated when people said this to me. But food is freedom. Like, I cannot tell you, like no matter what anorexia says, like, food will help you. Like, I know, I guess when you're in the midst of anorexia and before I started my recovery, like, me and food were literally enemies. And food, you need food to live, and that was not a good relationship because it doesn't work. I can tell you now, it just doesn't work. And the long and the short of it is you need to try and heal your relationship with food. And look, it's taken me 10 months to like even get off the start line, and I am nowhere near there, but I just want to say how important it is, like how important food is and what an important role food plays in your life. Like, before I had anorexia, like, you wouldn't think how big a part food played in someone's life, but it is literally like everything. And like with anorexia, you are constantly consumed by like food and like what to eat, when to eat, and everything like that. And ooh, is that my shoulder? I guess what's changed for me now is that, yeah, I'm still consumed with food, I still have the voices, it's still really hard for me, but I can like go and I can like, if I'm hungry, sometimes when I'm hungry I can eat. And you know, if I'm still hungry after a meal, I may get a snack. Like, it's not always, because I still do really struggle, but it has helped me so much. And I've got extreme hunger. Like, at the moment I am so hungry, and it literally just is quite scary and quite overwhelming, but I am trying to honour it as much as I can, because I know my body's been through a lot. And I put a reel on my Instagram on this the other day, but my body's been through a lot, and like, the biggest act of gratitude I can give it is to actually honour it and actually to feed my body and nourish my body. And you know, if it's hungry, then like give it what it wants, because honestly it's been through so much. So I don't even know what point I was saying, but basically what's changed between me and me a year ago is that food is a bit less scary to me now. Like I can see that you need food to live, and what's really helped me is try and see food not as calories but as energy and fuel. But it's also more than fuel, like it's memories and creativeness and everything like that. So it is so important. So I guess now I can kind of see food and the beauty of what food can give you. And honestly, I am so much happier than I was a year ago. Like starvation just brings you a life of misery. Like there's no nice way of putting it. Like it is absolute hell, and in the beginning it will be hell, like trying to fight those voices in your head, and it feels like no one understands, and it's absolute hell. And like for the first 3 months, this is why I don't class it as my recovery, for the first 3 months post hospital I was fighting back, and I felt like no one understood, and I felt like I couldn't do it. But I just want to tell myself like a year ago that I could do it, and like just try and not fight it, but try. And even though everything's telling you not to, just try and challenge those eating disorder behaviours, and try and not let anorexia win. And honestly, it will be the fight of your life, and it is the hardest fight you'll probably ever have to do. But just try and fight anorexia. And that's what I would say, like once you do challenge like a few fear foods, it does get easier. And it's still so hard, like don't get me wrong, but when you see that bit of hope, then it does really help. And for me, what made that change is because I changed treatment teams, and I got a nurse who honestly believed in me, and my life changed. Like I owe my nurse my life, because he literally saved my life. He saved me at like a really dark time in my life. And for me, what helped me is he saw me and he saw what pain I was in. We worked together rather than someone forcing you to do something. And I think that's really important, like working with your therapy team rather than trying to work against them, because they are trying to help you. And I know it's like so hard, but when you can work together, honestly, it's so much easier, because you've got two people then carrying the weight. And the weight of an eating disorder is the heaviest weight like I have ever had to lift. Like it pulls you down, it pulls at your heart, and it is so hard. But oh gosh, this is getting deep, guys. Yeah, that's what I would say. Just try your hardest to not let anorexia win, because anorexia wants to kill you. Like that's the truth. Like no matter how it disguises it, it wants to give you a life of misery, and it wants, like ultimately it will kill you. So, and sometimes in the beginning you don't want to be saved, you don't want your life back, because I didn't want my life back, and that was a really tricky place to be. But as I said, when I have someone who believes in me and knew that I could do it, and also just change like my life so that my life would be worth like fighting for, because my old life, I didn't want it back, but now I've created a new life and it works so much better for me. Like I don't go to school and stuff like that, and if that hadn't been changed, then I wouldn't be able to get off the start line, because I didn't want that old life back, because ultimately that's what made me get unwell. And the way I see it, it's like if you don't change something in your life, then you're just going to relapse. Like you got unwell for a reason, and the way I see it is you need to change that thing in your life in order to get better, because otherwise you're just going to relapse. It's just going to happen again. Obviously relapses don't always happen, and you know you can recover and not relapse. And I found out so much more about myself, and this is just the way that works for me. Like all-in didn't work for me, and some other traditional like anorexia treatments, they didn't work for me because of other diagnoses I have, which I will talk about one day, because I feel like I keep saying, but I just haven't found the right time. So yeah, I don't even know what I was saying, I'm just rambling on. But yeah, so my advice would be just Just believe in yourself, and I know you can do it. Like, I believe in you. Now onto some tips and stuff that's helped me through my recovery journey. I think number one would have to be don't compare. Like, everyone is their own person and everyone's recovery will be different, and how sick you are is not determined by how sick other people are. Like, you are sick. If you have anorexia, you are sick. And you need to actually validate your own feelings rather than seeking validation from other people's feelings. So that's what I would say. I think like it's really easy to kind of look at quite triggering content and kind of like be kind of ashamed that you didn't reach that lowest weight, or like you weren't in hospital for that long and stuff like that. Like, anorexia is so traumatic, and you need to give yourself the validation you deserve, because it is absolutely hell for everyone. Like, no matter what weight they reach, or even if they're not underweight, like, it is hell, and you need to accept that, and you need to tell yourself like you are doing an amazing job, and just don't compare to other people, because honestly it just won't help you. I've learned that, and I still do find it really hard. Like, I do like look and I'm just like, there's thoughts in my head, but I just try and ignore those thoughts, because I just know that they're not going to help me. Number two would be actually don't engage in like eating disorder content. I know for me, like, following eating disorder accounts is really helpful, but listening to podcasts and stuff in the beginning, it was really helpful, but then it got to a stage where I was like starting to compare myself to those people, and then it became unhelpful. So I think sometimes it's quite good to distract yourself by not listening to eating disorder content, and maybe just following some like non-triggering accounts, because at the end of the day, you are your own person. Everyone's recovery is different, and sometimes it gets to a stage, like especially for me and 10 months on, like I just don't really want to listen to like eating disorder podcasts. I mean, for some people it is helpful, but for me now, I just want to like do it my way, and like as long as I'm recovering, that's what's important. So yeah, that's quite like an unusual one. Like, I know there's some really good accounts like Real Recovering and JC's Diary. They're like non-triggering accounts, and they're really helpful for like, comfort and take your mind off things. But yeah, I would probably say just listen to some fun podcasts. Like, I'll put some podcast recommendations down below, but sometimes you just want to like zone out and not think about eating disorders when that is your 24/7. So yeah, that's what I would say for that one. Next up, if you haven't watched my gift guide, go watch that, because that will really help you with like stuff to help you along your eating disorder recovery journey. There's some really good things in there, like a weighted blanket and fiddle toys and sensory stuff, so go give that one a watch. Number four, I think family members is a really difficult one, because sometimes family members don't know what to say, and I do kind of get it, because when it's all in your head, like as cliche as that sounds, like it is really hard to understand. But for me, what's helped me with the people that maybe don't understand, like I'm really lucky that my family do really understand, and I've got really supportive parents, and other like extended family and stuff like that. But with people who maybe don't understand, maybe try and limit seeing them, or maybe when you see them with someone who does understand, like your parent or something like that, and then they can kind of like deflect the situation, as silly as that sounds. But sometimes it just takes one triggering comment and it will just cause like a downward spiral. I know that did for me. Like, I got really upset when and someone didn't even mean to say it in like, a triggering way, like, your face is fuller or something like that. Like, I know they're just pleased for me, but I just found it really, really hard. So maybe just, if you know that person maybe doesn't understand, or like just try and talk to them about it and explain to them why it's triggering. But yeah, I would say on the whole, probably just kind of, get someone who can deflect them for you, or maybe just distance yourself just while you're in those early stages of recovery. Another one is distractions. Like, keep yourself busy. After meals, keep yourself busy, and during the day, try and keep yourself busy, because for me, like just sitting and listening to the ruminations, it was really unhealthy. And I think just doing stuff, and it just does take your mind off it. And Like playing games, like card games are great, like Monopoly Deal is absolutely amazing. Play that game and just so good, like, and just try and kind of take your mind off it and not listen to the ruminations. I know it's really hard, but I would say do that, or just something that you enjoy. Like when I was in hospital, I got really into painting, which is not something I've ever done before, and that's really nice to take your mind off things. Podcasts that are just fun and light-hearted, drawing, art, like music if you do music, just something that's like something that just fills up your cup, if that makes sense. Because I know for me, I did feel, you know, when you do feel that guilt after eating or something like that, like it is really hard. So distraction is definitely the best way to cope with that. Sorry, I keep getting messages. Another one is try and reconnect with friends. I know it's really difficult because for me, I do feel like I lost quite a lot of my friends because the day I had my eating disorder assessment, I went straight to hospital and I never went back to school. So I found it really hard to reconnect with people. But if anyone's watching this, like, please just do send me a message. Like, I do know it can be hard to know what to say, but I just, you know, I do feel really lonely sometimes, and it is really hard, and especially like with the end of term and everything, because I'm in year 11, and you know, it's like the last time everyone's going to see each other, and like, you know, muck up day and like parties and stuff, and I'm obviously not going to be there, and I do find that really, really difficult. Like, I've cried a lot about it. So I would say I should probably take my own advice, but try and reconnect with people from your school, even if it's like a Teams call or like sending a text, or like keep messaging. Like, to everyone who keeps messaging me, thank you, because it just makes me feel like, you know, feel that love, because sometimes I do feel like I'm lacking purpose, and you know, that I do get really upset that, like, you know, people may have moved on without me. Like, I know they need to, because you know, my life ground to a halt and their life kept going. But I think connecting with people is really important. So you can just feel that love, and I know people do love me, but sometimes it's just like you do kind of forget, if you get what I mean, like being out of the rhythm of school and stuff, it is really difficult. But yeah, I need to definitely take my own advice on that one. But yeah, I think that is it. It's getting dark, like the sun has just gone in and it just got dark all of a sudden, so I think I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and let me know if I should do this for like a year update or like every couple of months. I don't know. I feel like I've just been rambling on. Like, this was too bit impromptu, and I was not planning on filming this tonight. But yeah, here we are. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching, and hold on, keep going, you've got this. So yeah, see you soon. Bye. Oh yeah. Hey. Since when did it get so dark? Cannot believe this. Fuming.